Who better than Kanyon?
Who better?
Who better than Kanyon?
Of course, guys I love to be in the ring with and dance, as we call it. Chris Kanyon is top 5% because it was just fun. It's me, it's DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, master of the diamond cutter.
He doesn't realize so much of us as kids, as teenagers, we watch Chris, the way that he took moves and the way he sold moves and the way he strung along offense.
There was something special about Chris. Everyone loved him, and he was funny, and he was bright, and he was witty. I would call him a king of Sunnyside, New York. Hi, my name is Raphael Morphy. I'm a 20-year pro wrestling executive. I grew up with Chris Casares, AKA Chris Kanyon, in Sunnyside, Queens, New York. I went to grammar school with Chris and high school, and as luck would have it, worked with him at WWE. Middle class, blue collar area, a lot of Catholics. In our parish, he would be in the corner with some of his friends, putting on these shows. He adored wrestling. I don't think he was ever comfortable about his sexual orientation. That comes from where he grew up, his religious beliefs. He had a struggle at our high school. He was overheard cursing his teacher and sent him to a chaplain of our school, and he just blurted out, "I'm gay." You know, don't give in to Satan, don't give in to temptations. The animosity Chris had towards this person who told him that, Chris says, "That's who I am, so why is it wrong?" I think it had a big effect on him. It really broke my heart. Like, man, I wish I knew he was going through this.
So when I first started hanging around with Kanyon, he presented himself as a guy from New York, a tough New York, Queens guy, who was very Catholic and very anti-homosexual. I am the sinister minister, Father James Mitchell. He showed me this tape of him doing a match in the streets. I said, I could really do something with you, Kanyon. What we need to do is get you into a ring. And the only wrestling ring that I know of around here is the one that Fabulous Moolah has.
For over half a century, the Fabulous Moolah was one of the industry's leading power brokers, controlling nearly all aspects of women's wrestling.
He was pretty marked out that he was in the presence of a legend. Moolah normally trained women. I had told him, just keep your mouth shut. Let me do the talking. Let me see if I can her, get you in the door. She looked at him, she was very impressed. Moolah would run these tiny shows for her students. Mae Young was there, and she would get in there all the time and jump on Kanyon in them and stomp the out of him. She'd rip big wads of hair out of his head. "Ah, what's going on? This bitch is crazy. She's shooting on me." I'm like, just put up with it. You'll be okay.
By the mid-90s, Kanyon catches the attention of World Championship Wrestling and is soon realizing his dream, performing regularly on national television.
He was getting to live his dream. This was a time when he was really happy. He went to pack up and go to Memphis, I believe. I get a phone call, and I see it on the caller ID, and I'm excited. Christopher Clusarts. I picked it up. "Kanyon, how are you doing?" He goes, "Van, I have something to tell you." "Okay, what's that?" "I had one of those big U-Haul things, and my cousins were trying to move it. And Van, gay pornography exploded all over the street. It was like a piñata of gay porn. And I panicked. And they said, 'Kanyon, what the is that?' And I said, 'That's Daryl Van Horns. He pulls ribs on people. He's a sick. He's probably gay himself. I bet it's his.'" So that's how he came out to me. And I said, "Okay, so what?" And he goes, "So you need to call my cousin." And he had this very elaborate script written out where I couldn't be too obvious, but I had to say, "Hey, can you get me in touch with Kanyon? Because I left some materials with him." And the thing was, I was the only person Kanyon told he was gay, and my job was to cover for him.
It was a great combination with Vandenberg. Vandenballs, he used to call him. He used to torture Vandenballs, man.
He was vicious. He was vicious on it. But Vandenballs never has a career without Chris Kanyon. And he loved Vandenballs. He loved them.
We were celebrating a great victory or something. I went to turn the car on and it wouldn't start. He started screaming and yelling and cursing at me. And Kanyon, it's not a big deal. I'll call a taxi, whatever. And he just started increasing it. Anyhow, the car starts. It's an hour ride home to Atlanta. The whole time, he's throwing elbows in my face, going, "You I hate you, you piece of and just going, what's wrong with you, man?" And we got to the parking garage. He actually kicked my passenger door open. You And he began to kick out every headlight, brake light, jumped up and down on the hood, totally destroyed my car. Get the out of here! I hate you, I never want to see you again. If I didn't have a list, I would never have anything to do with you, because I can't do a promo. And then I looked at him, I let it sit for a minute, and I went, okay. That's a hell of a thing to say to the only guy who knows your secret identity.